The alarm went off at 3 in the morning. Captain opened his eyes and sat up in his bed. He had been expecting this. For 3 days now, the deep space station had been picking up strange signals. Tonight, they had finally decoded the message. Pulled on his uniform and walked through the quiet hallways of the moon base. His boots made soft sounds on the metal floor. Outside the windows, Earth hung in the darkness like a blue and white marble. He had lived here for 2 years now, watching the stars and listening for signals from other worlds. The communications room was bright and busy. Lieutenant stood at the main console, her fingers moving quickly across the controls. She looked up when entered. "Captain, we have it," she said. Her voice was tight with excitement. "It's a distress call, no doubt about it." Walked to her side and looked at the screen. The message played again. It was not in any human language, but the computer had worked hard to translate it. The voice sounded scared and desperate. "This is the people of Prime. We are under attack. Our defenses have fallen. The raiders have destroyed our orbital stations. They will reach our planet in 2 days. We ask anyone who receives this message to help us. Please. We have no weapons. We have no soldiers. Our people are dying." The message repeated, over and over, the same plea for help echoing across the stars. Specialist turned in his chair. He was young, barely 25, but he was the best language expert they had. "Sir, I've checked the signal. It's been broadcasting for 5 days. We're the first ones to decode it." "How far away are they?" asked. Pulled up a star map. A red dot blinked in the display. "About 4 light years. With our new FTL drive, we could be there in 8 hours." Stared at the blinking dot. 4 light years. Not far in galactic terms, but humanity had only developed faster than light travel 6 months ago. They had sent out 3 exploration ships, and all 3 had come back with the same report. Space was empty. No aliens. No other civilizations. Just rocks and gas and endless silence. Now they knew why. Everyone else was too far away to hear each other's calls for help. "What do we know about these?" asked. Shook his head. "Nothing, sir. We've never heard of them, never heard of the either. This is first contact with 2 alien species at once." Engineer entered the room carrying a tablet. She was older than the others, with gray streaks in her hair and oil stains on her hands. She had been working on the FTL drive all night. "The is ready," she said. "I've checked every system twice. We can leave whenever you give the order." Looked at each of them, standing straight and ready. Eager and curious, calm and confident, they were good people, the best crew he had ever worked with. "We haven't been authorized," said quietly. "Earth Command doesn't even know about this yet. If we go on our own." "People are dying," said. Her voice was firm. "We have to help them." "We don't know what we're flying into," warned. "We don't know if our weapons will work against theirs. We don't know if we can even communicate with them properly. This could be a trap." Crossed her arms. Could be. But what if it's not? What if these people are really in trouble and we're the only ones who heard them? Nodded. "We have to try, Captain. That's what humans do, right? We try to help." Felt a weight in his chest. He thought about Earth Command, about protocols and orders and regulations. Then he thought about the scared voice in that message, begging for help across the darkness of space. He made his decision. "Get the crew ready," he said. "Full combat load. Plot the fastest course to Prime. Keep trying to send a response to that signal. Let them know we're coming. I want the ready to launch in 1 hour." They moved fast. Sent a message to Earth Command explaining what they were doing. He knew he would probably be court-martialed when he got back, but that was a problem for later. There was not a big ship. It was built for exploration, not combat, but it had weapons just in case, and missiles designed for destroying asteroids, shields that could handle radiation and debris, and it had a crew of 20 humans who had all volunteered for this mission. Stood on the bridge as the ship left the moon's orbit. Earth fell away behind them. Ahead, the stars waited. Entering FTL in 30 seconds, said from the pilot's seat. The ship began to hum. Energy built up in the drive core, gripped the armrest of his chair. All systems green, reported from engineering. Translation programs running, added. If they respond to our message, we should be able to understand them. 10 seconds counted down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, engaging FTL drive. The stars stretched, the universe bent. For a moment, felt like he was being pulled in every direction at once. Then the sensation stopped. The stars looked normal again, but they were different stars. They had jumped across 4 light years in an instant. We made it, said. She sounded amazed. We're in the system. On the main screen, a yellow sun appeared. Planets orbited it slowly, and around the third planet could see debris, broken stations, wrecked ships, the signs of battle. Scanning, said. His voice was quiet now. I'm picking up life signs on the planet, millions of them, but I'm also picking up other ships in orbit, big ones, military configuration. Those said. Yes, sir, and they've seen us. They're turning toward us. Stood up, this was it. First contact with an alien species, and it was going to be a fight. Battle stations, he ordered. Shields up, weapons ready. Let's show these that humanity doesn't ignore a call for help. The crew moved to their positions. The turn to face the incoming ships, and in the distance on that planet below, millions of people waited and hoped for salvation. They had arrived. The ships did not fire. They moved closer slowly like predators studying new prey. Watched them on the screen. They were dark and angular, covered in weapon ports and armor plating. They're hailing us, said. Audio only. Put it through, ordered. A voice filled the bridge. It was rough and harsh, speaking in a language the computer struggled to translate. Unknown vessel, you have entered territory. Leave now or be destroyed. Gestured to who opened the communication channel. This is Captain of Earth. We received a distress call from the people. We are here to help them. There was a long silence. Then the voice laughed. It was not a pleasant sound. Earth, we have no record of Earth. You are not part of the Galactic Council. You have no authority here. Leave. We're not leaving, said firmly. Another pause, then. Your ship is small. You are alone. We have 20 warships. If you do not leave, we will add your wreckage to the others floating here. The channel cut off. Looked back at orders, sir. Before could answer, another signal came through. This one was different, weaker. It came from the planet's surface. Captain, said urgently, I'm receiving a transmission from Prime. They want to talk to us. Put it on screen, said. The main display changed. A face appeared, had to stop himself from staring. The alien was unlike anything he had imagined. Its skin was pale blue and smooth. Its eyes were large and golden. Its body was thin, almost fragile-looking. It wore robes that seemed to flow like water. I am ambassador of the Council, the alien said. The computer translated its words almost instantly. You are the ones who answered our call. We are, said. I'm captain. We came as fast as we could. His expression was hard to read, but thought he saw hope in those golden eyes. We are grateful. They have destroyed our orbital defenses. They will land on our planet within hours. We have no way to stop them. What do they want? Asked. Everything, our resources, our technology, our people as slaves. His voice shook slightly. We are a peaceful civilization. We have never needed weapons or soldiers. Our world is gentle. We have no predators, no diseases, no natural disasters. We evolved to cooperate, not to fight. Leaned closer to and whispered, Captain, I'm getting some strange readings. The gravity on that planet is only 1/3 of Earth's. Nodded slowly, understanding. They had evolved on an easy world. They had never needed to be strong. Ambassador said, before we proceed, I need to share some information with you. May I ask what you know about Earth? Tilted its head. Nothing. We have never heard of your world. Our records show no contact with your species." "Then let me tell you," said. "Earth is what the galaxy would call a Class 12. Went very still. "That is not possible. Class 12 is the highest danger rating. No sentient species has ever evolved on a Class 12 world." "Until now," said gently. "Our planet has gravity 3 times stronger than yours. We have hurricanes that can destroy cities, earthquakes that split the ground open, volcanoes that darken the sky. We have diseases that can kill in days, predators that hunt in packs, oceans so deep and dark that we still don't know everything that lives in them." His golden eyes grew wider. "How do you survive?" "We adapt," said. "We're strong because we have to be. Our bones are dense. Our muscles are powerful. Our immune systems fight off threats every day. We heal fast. We can survive injuries that would kill most species." "You are," whispered. The word sounded like a curse in the alien's mouth. "We are," agreed. "But we're also here to help you if you'll let us." Was quiet for a long time. Could see the alien was struggling with something. Fear, probably. Fear of the humans and fear of the... Finally spoke. "We need your help. We have no other choice. But I must warn you, they are experienced warriors. They have conquered 17 worlds. They will not be easy to defeat." "We understand," said. "Can you send us information about their ships and weapons?" "Yes, transmitting now." Fingers moved across controls couldn't see. Data began flowing into the computers, and studied it quickly. "Captain," said after a moment, "their weapons are plasma-based, medium power. Their shields are standard electromagnetic fields, nothing we can't handle. Their ships are fast but lightly armored," added. "Built for raiding, not sustained combat." Nodded. "Ambassador, we're going to engage the ships. Please keep your people in shelters. This might get dangerous." "Dangerous?" His voice rose. "You cannot fight 20 warships with one small vessel. You will be killed." "Maybe," said, "but we're going to try anyway." He cut the transmission and turned to his crew. "Take us toward the fleet. Combat speed. Power up all weapons. Jam their communications if you can. I don't want them coordinating too well." The surged forward. The ships responded immediately, forming a battle line. Energy weapons began to charge. Missiles armed themselves. "Incoming transmission from the," reported. "Ignore it," said. "They had their chance to leave." The first ship fired. A bolt of plasma shot across the darkness. It struck the shields and dispersed harmlessly. Grinned. "Their weapons are weak. Our shields barely registered that hit." "Return fire," ordered. The spoke. It fired a solid metal slug at a significant fraction of the speed of light. The projectile crossed the distance in less than a second and punched through the ship's shields like they weren't even there. The enemy vessel shuddered, atmosphere venting from the hole in its hull. "Direct hit," confirmed. "Their shields can't stop kinetic weapons." The other ships opened fire all at once. Plasma bolts filled the space around the shields held easily, designed as they were to protect against micrometeorites traveling at orbital velocities. "They're not doing any damage," said. "Should I take evasive maneuvers?" "Negative," said. "Maintain course. Target their weapons systems. I want to disable, not destroy." The fired again and again. Each shot was precise, calculated. Ships spun out of control as their weapon ports were destroyed. Some tried to flee. Others tried to ram the human ship, but piloting was too good. On Prime, watched the battle on a screen. The scientists and leaders stood around the ambassador, their faces showing shock and disbelief. "How are they doing this?" one scientist asked. "The fleet should have overwhelmed them by now." "They are," said quietly. "They evolved in hell. This is just another day for them." The battle lasted 12 minutes. When it was over, 15 ships were disabled and drifting. 5 had fled into deep space. Not a single human life had been lost. Opened a channel to Prime. "Ambassador, the orbital space is clear. They are retreating." His face appeared on the screen again. The alien looked stunned. You defeated them, 20 warships, you defeated them all. We protect what needs protecting, said simply. Now, with your permission, we'd like to land and talk about the future. Nodded slowly. Yes, please come to the surface, we have much to discuss. As the began its descent to the planet, wondered what they would think when they saw humans up close, when they realized just how different really were. The landing was gentle. Set the down on a platform near the capital city. Through the windows, could see buildings that looked like they were made of crystal and light. Gardens stretched between them, filled with plants that swayed in the breeze even though there was barely any wind. Beautiful, said softly. Gravity is 0.32 Earth standard, reported. Atmosphere is breathable but thin. Oxygen level is lower than Earth's. We should wear breathing support. Stood and straightened his uniform. You're with me. Everyone else stays on the ship. Keep weapons ready and shields up, just in case. The four of them walked to the airlock. They put on small breathing devices that hooked over their ears. When the door opened, took his first step onto an alien world. The gravity was strange. He felt light, like he could jump and fly. Each step wanted to bounce him into the air. He had to concentrate to walk normally. A group waited for them. Ambassador stood at the front, along with 6 others wearing different colored robes. Behind them stood what looked like scientists and security personnel. All of them stared at the humans with wide golden eyes. Walked forward, moving carefully in the low gravity. He stopped a respectful distance away and bowed slightly. Ambassador, thank you for welcoming us to your world. Did not bow back. The alien stood very still, its hands trembling slightly. Captain, I must confess, you are not what I expected. What did you expect? Asked. I do not know, perhaps beings of great size or creatures covered in armor and weapons. Gestured at the humans. You look almost fragile, yet you defeated the fleet with ease. Smiled, we're tougher than we look. One of the others stepped forward. This one wore blue robes and carried a scanning device. May I? It asked, holding up the scanner. Go ahead, said. The device hummed as it passed over his body. The scientist's eyes grew wider with each passing second. Remarkable, it breathed. Your bone density is 3 times what I would expect for a being your size. Your muscle tissue is incredibly compact. Your cardiovascular system is. I have never seen anything like it. That's what growing up in 3 times your gravity does to you, said. The scientist turned too. Ambassador, their bodies are living weapons. Every system is built for extreme stress and survival. They could survive injuries that would kill any of us instantly. Looked at with something like fear in its eyes. You really are from a... We are, said gently. But that doesn't make us monsters. We're just people who learn to survive on a hard planet, and we use that strength to help others. Another, this one wearing red robes, spoke up. How do you live with such danger? We have read about Class 12 worlds, the storms, the predators, the diseases. How do you endure it? Laughed. We don't think about it much. It's just normal for us. We build strong houses to survive the storms. We developed medicine to fight the diseases. We learn to work together against the predators. But don't you fear death every day? The red-robed asked. Sometimes, admitted. But fear makes us careful. It makes us strong. And it makes us value life more because we know how fragile it can be. Gestured toward the crystal buildings. Please, come inside. We have much to discuss. And I think you should know what we are facing. They walked through the city. The people stopped and stared as the humans passed. Some looked curious. Others looked frightened. Children peered out from behind their parents, golden eyes wide with wonder. The council chamber was a circular room with walls that seemed to glow with soft light. The human sat in chairs that were too small and fragile for them, was afraid his chair might break under his weight. Activated a holographic display in the center of the room. Images appeared, showing different planets. This is. Each image showed destroyed cities and broken orbital stations. All of these worlds fell to the within the last 3 years. How did they lose? Asked. The same way we almost lost, said. The Galactic Council is made up of peaceful species. We evolved on gentle worlds. We have no concept of war. When they attacked, we had no defenses, no strategies, no weapons capable of stopping them. What about the other council members? Asked. Didn't they help? They sent supplies and medical aid, another said bitterly. But no soldiers, no weapons, because they have none to send. Leaned forward. You're saying the entire Galactic Council is defenseless? Yes, said. There are 47 member species in the Council. All of us evolved on low-gravity worlds with few dangers. We built our civilizations on cooperation and trade, not conflict. The very concept of organized violence is foreign to us. Until they showed up, said. Yes, they came from the outer rim, a species that evolved on a harsher world than ours, not alike yours but difficult enough to teach them violence and conquest. The hologram changed, showing warriors. They were tall and heavily built, at least by standards. They had 4 arms and thick, armored skin. They are stronger than us, explained. In their gravity we can barely move. Their weapons overpower our shields. Their ships are faster and more maneuverable than ours. They conquer, enslave, and move on to the next target. Studied the images carefully. What's their home world's gravity? 0.53 Earth standard, the scientist in blue robe said. Laughed. That's barely half of what we're used to. No wonder they seemed slow in the battle. Looked confused. Slow, they are among the fastest warriors in known space. Not compared to us, said. We move and react in gravity almost twice as strong as theirs. To us, they were moving in slow motion. The council members exchanged glances. Could see they were beginning to understand just how different humans were. Ambassador said, we need to talk about the strategy. They didn't run away because we destroyed their ships. They ran because they realized we're stronger than them, but they will come back. I know, said quietly. They always do, and next time they will bring more ships. Then we need to prepare, said. He stood up, forgetting about the low gravity, and nearly hit his head on the ceiling. He sat back down quickly. Sorry, still getting used to your gravity. Actually smiled a little. Perhaps we should move to a larger room. Over the next few hours, and his crew learned everything they could about the, studied their language and communication patterns, analyzed their ship designs and tactics, examined their weapons and defenses. What they found was concerning. They were not stupid. They were experienced raiders who had conquered multiple worlds. They would study the battle data, learn from their mistakes, and come back with a better plan. We need to get word to Earth, said. We need more ships, more people. We can't defend this entire system by ourselves. I have already sent a message to the Galactic Council, said. But their nearest fleet is 2 months away, and even when they arrive, they will not be able to fight. They will only evacuate refugees. 2 months, said. They could be back in 2 weeks. Stood again more carefully this time. He looked at each of his crew members. They all knew what he was thinking. We stay, he said. We help the prepare defenses. We train anyone who is willing to learn. And when they come back, we show them that this planet is under human protection. His golden eyes shimmered with what might have been tears. You would do this for us. Risk your lives for people you just met. Yes, said simply. Because it's the right thing to do, because you asked for help and we answered, and because someone needs to stand up to bullies, whether they're on Earth or halfway across the galaxy. Grinned. Besides, we're taking on impossible odds is kind of our thing. The council stood as one and bowed deeply. It was a gesture of profound respect and gratitude. Then we accept your help, said, and we will do everything we can to learn from you. Perhaps with your guidance we can become strong enough to protect ourselves. Smiled. That's the spirit. Now let's get to work. We have 2 weeks to turn a peaceful planet into a fortress. Outside, the twin moons of Prime rose into the sky. In orbit, they kept watch. And across the galaxy, in the darkness between stars, they were planning their revenge. They learned quickly. That was the one advantage they had. Their minds were sharp even if their bodies were fragile. Stood in a large room with 30 volunteers. They looked nervous but determined. "Okay," he said slowly. "When the alarm sounds, you need to move to the shelter, fast, not walking, running." One raised a thin hand. "But we might fall if we run." "Then you learn to run without falling," said. He demonstrated, jogging across the room. To he looked impossibly fast and graceful. "Practice. Your lives might depend on it." In another part of the city, was working with engineers. They surrounded a holographic display showing the planet's shield network. "The problem is power," an engineer named Pip explained. "Our shields are designed to block radiation and small meteorites. They cannot handle sustained weapons fire." Study the display. "Can you boost the power output?" "If we do, the generators will overheat and shut down within minutes." "Then we rotate them," said. "Use shields in sections. When one section gets hit hard, switch it off and activate another section. By the time you rotate back, the first generator will have cooled down." Pip's golden eyes lit up. "Cycling defense. Yes, that could work, but we would need someone to coordinate the timing." "Leave that to me," said. "I'll write a program that can manage it automatically, and I'll teach your team how to adjust it on the fly." Pip tilted its head. "You are very kind to help us like this." Smiled. "We're all people, Pip. Doesn't matter what planet we're from. When someone needs help, you help them." "Is that a human philosophy?" "It should be everyone's philosophy," said. Meanwhile was in orbit with a team of pilots. Their ships were small and fast, built for exploration and cargo transport, not for combat. "The key is unpredictability," explained over the comm. "They will expect you to flee. Instead, you're going to harass them. Quick strikes. Hit and run. Don't try to destroy their ships. Just distract them and slow them down." A pilot's voice came back, uncertain. "But their weapons are so powerful." "That's why you don't let them hit you," said. She demonstrated with her own ship, rolling and diving in patterns that made the pilots dizzy just watching. "Use the low gravity to your advantage. Accelerate faster than they expect. Change direction suddenly. Make them waste ammunition." "We will try," the pilot said. "Don't try, do. And remember, you're not alone up here. I'll be right beside you." On the ground, met with ambassador and the military coordinator, unnamed. Had no combat experience, but he had studied human history and tactics for the past week. "They will likely send 50 ships this time," said, pointing at a tactical display. "They will bombard us from orbit while landing troops in multiple locations." "Probably," agreed. "But we're not going to make it easy for them. How many volunteers do we have?" 500, said. "They are not soldiers, but they are willing to defend their homes." "Good. We'll arm them with the weapons and your engineers have been building. Kinetic rifles, simple but effective. We'll position them at the most likely landing zones." Looked worried. "Captain, our people have never fired a weapon before. Will they be able to fight?" "Fighting isn't just about weapons," said. "It's about will. Your people have something worth protecting. That makes them dangerous even if they're not trained soldiers." The days passed quickly. They worked harder than they had ever worked before. They practiced running to shelters. They learned to operate weapons. They studied combat tactics that were completely alien to their culture. Some of them were scared. Many of them questioned whether they could really fight, but none of them gave up. On the 14th day, the sensors picked up incoming ships, lots of them. 53 vessels, reported from the command center. All signatures, they'll be here in 4 hours. Activated the planet-wide comm system. "Attention all personnel. This is Captain, the fleet has arrived. Everyone move to your assigned positions. Remember your training, stay calm, stay focused, and know that we are all fighting together." He switched to a private channel. Status: "In position with the flight wing," replied. 20 ships ready to engage. Shield network is online and ready. All sectors reporting green status. Planetary defenses armed. Volunteer units are in position. Comm networks are functioning. Took a deep breath. Good. Let's show the what happens when you mess with a planet protected by. The fleet dropped out of FTL in a coordinated formation. They moved toward the planet confidently, spreading out to surround it. A transmission came through. "Planet," the commander's voice boomed. "This is Warlord. You defeated a small raiding force. Now you face the full might of the Empire. Surrender immediately. Your allies cannot protect you." Opened a channel. "Warlord, this is Captain of Earth. You have one chance to leave peacefully." Laughed, a harsh sound that grated through the speakers. "One ship against 50. Your courage is admirable, human, but courage does not stop plasma cannons." "No," agreed, "but good tactics do." He cut the transmission and spoke to his crew. "Execute operation." The surged forward, accelerating faster than any ship could match. His voice came over the comm. "Flight wing, engage." 20 small ships burst from hiding spots behind moons and asteroids. They attacked from all directions, firing their light weapons at the fleet's sensors and communication arrays. The damage was minimal, but the distraction was perfect. The ships broke formation to chase the attackers. It was exactly what wanted. "Activate the shield sections," ordered. On the planet's surface, massive generators hummed to life. Energy shields flickered into existence, covering the major cities in overlapping protective fields. The fleet began its bombardment. Plasma bolts rained down from orbit, but the rotating shields held, each section absorbing the impact before switching off to cool down. "It's working," Pip shouted from the engineering station. In space, led the pilots in a deadly dance. The ships were faster and more powerful, but the ships were smaller and more agile. They darted in and out like insects, never staying still long enough to be targeted effectively. The focused on the larger vessels. Fired with precision, each shot carefully aimed at weapon systems or shield generators. He wasn't trying to destroy the fleet. He was trying to disable it. 10 ships disabled, reported. They're getting angry. Good, said. Angry enemies make mistakes. Warlord apparently agreed with that assessment. Instead of maintaining formation, the commander ordered a direct assault. 10 of the largest ships dove toward the planet, ignoring the shields and the fighters. They aimed for the open areas between cities, planning to land troops and attack from the ground. Here they come, said. Ground forces prepare for contact. His voice came over the comm, steady despite his fear. All units ready, Captain. The ships landed in a storm of dust and fire. Ramps dropped. Warriors poured out, four-armed and heavily armored. They expected to face terrified civilians. Instead, they ran into prepared defensive positions. Kinetic rifles cracked. Bullets designed by human engineers and built by hands tore through armor. The raiders stumbled, confused. They were used to fighting species that ran away. These were standing their ground. In the low gravity, they moved clumsily. They were stronger than but the defenders had cover, superior positions and weapons that worked. West perimeter holding, a voice reported. North sector pushing them back, another said. Allowed himself a small smile. They were fighting. They were scared, but they were fighting. Then the situation changed. A massive ship descended, larger than all the others. It landed near the capital city. The ramp opened and Warlord emerged. The commander stood 3 meters tall, covered in battle scars and ceremonial armor. He carried a weapon that looked like a combination of a sword and an energy cannon. and he was heading straight for the Capitol building where and the council had taken shelter. "I need you to cover the ground forces," said quickly. "Keep those shields running, coordinate with—" "What are you doing?" asked. Was already moving toward the airlock, going to have a chat with Warlord. He grabbed a rifle and a combat helmet. The descended, landing between and the Capitol, stepped out alone. The Warlord stopped and stared, then he laughed. "You are the human captain, you are tiny." Walked forward calmly. In the low gravity, each step was controlled and measured. Size isn't everything. "You think you can stop me?" Raised his weapon. "I think you should leave while you still can," said. "You've lost this battle. Your fleet is being torn apart by pilots you thought were harmless. Your ground troops are being defeated by civilians you thought were weak. And now you're facing a—" His eyes narrowed. "I have conquered 17 worlds, human. I have killed warriors twice your size. What makes you think you are special?" Smiled. "Because I'm from Earth, and on Earth we don't give up, we don't run away, and we don't let bullies hurt people we've sworn to protect." Roared and charged. He was fast for but two who had trained in 3 times this gravity. He might as well have been moving through thick mud. The first strike easily. He could have shot, but something made him holster his rifle. This needed to be personal. The fight was brutal and short. Swung his heavy weapon with all 4 arms. Dodged, his reflexes honed by a lifetime on a. When he struck back, his fists hit like hammers. His bone density, 3 times what the expected, made each punch devastating. Fell to his knees, his weapon dropping from his hands. He stared up with something like fear in his eyes. "What are you?" "I'm human," said, "and I'm here to tell you that this planet is under Earth's protection now. You want to attack you'll have to go through us first, every time, forever." He activated his comm. "All forces, this is Captain. Your warlord is defeated. Leave this system now or face the same fate." In orbit, the fleet was already breaking apart. Between the precise strikes and the surprisingly effective fighters, they had lost too many ships, and now their leader had fallen to a single human. One by one, the vessels retreated. They fled into deep space, broadcasting warnings about the death planet Earth and its terrifying warriors. On Prime, the defenders cheered. They had won. 3 days after the battle, a fleet arrived at Prime. But these were not ships. These were vessels from the Galactic Council, sleek and beautiful, painted in colors that shimmered like rainbows. Stood on the landing platform with Ambassador, watching the ships descend. They were impressive, graceful, clearly built by civilizations far more advanced than Earth in many ways. "They're here to investigate," said quietly. "Word of the battle has spread across the galaxy. Every council member wants to know about the humans who defeated The lead ship landed, and its ramp extended. 3 aliens emerged, each from a different species. One looked like a tall plant with golden leaves. Another resembled a floating jellyfish made of crystal. The third was covered in silver fur and walked on 6 legs. They approached carefully and noticed they kept a respectful distance. They were afraid of him. The plant-like alien spoke first, its voice like wind through branches. "I am Council Speaker. We have come to speak with the humans." "I'm Captain," he replied. "Welcome to Prime." "We have reviewed the battle data," the crystal jellyfish said, its voice chiming like bells. "What you accomplished should have been impossible. 1 ship against 50. "We had help," said, gesturing too. "The people fought bravely to defend their home." "Yes," the silver-furred alien said. "We saw they fought. That too should have been impossible. They are a peaceful species." "We're peaceful," corrected gently. "We learned that sometimes you must fight to protect what you love. The humans taught us that." Speaker's leaves rustled. "We need to understand Earth. Your world is listed as a Class 12. Sentient life should not have evolved there." "But it did," said. "We adapted, we survived, we became strong." "Too strong, perhaps," the crystal being said. We have calculated your combat capabilities. A single human soldier is equivalent to 20 warriors in combat effectiveness. Your ships, though primitive in some ways, use weapons we never imagined. Your tactics are unlike anything in our databases. Felt a chill. Are you saying we're too dangerous? We are saying we do not know what to do with you, Speaker admitted. For 10,000 years, the Galactic Council has maintained peace through cooperation and mutual benefit. We have no military, no weapons, no concept of war. Then the came and shattered that peace. And now you arrive, even more powerful than and we are uncertain. You're afraid of us, said, stepping up beside. You think we might become the next. The council representatives were silent for a moment. Then Speaker nodded. Yes, that is our fear. Understood, he would have felt the same way in their position. May I show you something? He asked. He led them through the capital city. The streets were busy with people repairing damage from the battle, but there were also humans among them. Was helping rebuild a damaged power station. Was teaching children how to read star charts. Other crew members from them were scattered throughout the city, helping wherever they could. We could have left after the battle, said. Our mission was complete. They were defeated, but we stayed, because that's what humans do. We help, we protect, we build. They stopped at a medical center where a doctor was treating wounded warriors. A human medic worked alongside her, showing her new techniques for dealing with combat injuries. On Earth we have a saying, continued. With great power comes great responsibility. We know we're strong. We know we're dangerous. But we choose to use that strength to protect others, not to conquer them. The silver-furred alien tilted its head. How can we trust this? How do we know you will not change? You can't know, admitted. Just like we can't know if they will attack again, or if some other threat will emerge. Trust isn't about certainty. It's about faith, and it's proven through actions, not words. Speaker was quiet for a long time. Finally, the alien spoke. We would like to propose something. The Galactic Council wishes to establish an alliance with Earth. We can offer you technology, knowledge, and access to trade routes across the galaxy. In exchange for what? Asked suspiciously. Protection, the crystal being said. Not conquest, not subjugation, partnership. We teach you about the galaxy. You teach us how to defend ourselves. And together we face threats like the. Considered this. I can't make that decision. I'm just a ship captain. Earth leaders will have to decide. We understand, Speaker said. We will send diplomats to Earth, but we wanted to meet you first, to see if the stories were true. And asked. You are terrifying, the silver-furred alien said honestly, but also inspiring. We have been prey for so long. You remind us that we can be something more. Over the next week, more ships arrived. Not just council vessels, but also ships from other worlds that had threatened. Representatives came to Prime to see the humans and learn from them. Pip worked closely with, designing new defense systems. I never imagined I would become an engineer of weapons, Pip said one day. You're not building weapons, corrected. You're building protection. There's a difference. Is there, Pip asked. On your Earth, how do you balance the two? Thought about that. It's not always easy. We've made mistakes, big ones, but we try to learn from them. We try to use our strength wisely. I hope we can learn that too, Pip said. Meanwhile, had become an unexpected celebrity among young. They followed him everywhere, asking questions about Earth and human culture. Is it true you have oceans so deep they could swallow our entire city? One asked. Yes, said, and mountains so tall they pierce the clouds, and deserts so hot they can kill in hours. How do you live there? Another child asked, golden eyes wide. We adapt, we build, we work together. That's the secret, really. Earth is dangerous, but we're not alone on it. We have each other. A young named, who had fought in the battle despite being barely old enough, approached him. Will you teach me more about fighting? Why? Asked. Because someone needs to protect my world when you leave, said. I don't want to be prey anymore. Smiled. Then I'll teach you. But remember, the best fight is the one you prevent. Use your strength to scare away threats, not to seek them out. Back on Earth, the message from the Galactic Council had caused a sensation. Humanity was no longer alone in the universe. And more than that, they were being asked to become protectors of peaceful worlds. The Earth government sent a transmission to, "Captain, you are authorized to negotiate on behalf of Earth. Do what you think is right." Met with the Council representatives again. This time, and several other leaders joined them. "We accept the alliance," said, "but with conditions. We will help defend Council worlds. We will share our knowledge of tactics and defense, but we will not become your army. We will not conquer in your name. We are partners, not servants." "Agreed," Speaker said. "We also have a request. We would like humans to establish a base here on Prime, a training center where Council species can learn from you." Looked at, "How do they feel about that?" "We would be honored," said. "You saved our world, you taught us to be strong. Having you here would make us feel safe." "Then we accept," said. The news spread across the galaxy within days. Earth, though that should have killed any species that tried to evolve there, had produced beings of incredible strength and courage. And these beings were choosing to use their power to protect others. The Empire heard the news and retreated to their home systems. They would not attack Council worlds anymore, not with humans standing guard. Other species, curious and cautious, began sending messages to Earth. Some wanted to trade, some wanted to learn, some just wanted to know more about the mysterious. On Prime, construction began on the training center. It would be called Hope Station, a name suggested by Pip. "Because that's what you gave us," the engineer explained. "Hope that we could be more than victims." Months later, stood on a balcony overlooking the city. More human ships had arrived, bringing soldiers, teachers, and engineers. They had changed too. They moved with more confidence now. They smiled more. They were learning that strength and kindness could exist together. Joined him on the balcony. "Earth Command wants us to explore more systems, look for other species that might need help." "What did you tell them?" asked. "That we'd think about it," said. "But I think we should go. There are probably other civilizations out there like the good people who need someone to stand with them." And walked up behind them. "We're in," said. "Wherever you go, Captain." "The galaxy is a big place," added. "Lots of people who might need help, and we're pretty good at helping." Looked at his crew. They had come to Prime as explorers. They were leaving as something more, protectors, teachers, proof that strength could be used for good. "All right," he said. "We'll take on one more mission, then another, and another after that, because that's what humans do. When someone calls for help, we answer." Below them, and human children played together in the gardens. Above them, ships from a dozen different worlds orbited peacefully. And out in the darkness of space, other civilizations were learning that they were not alone, that there were beings willing to fight for them, willing to protect them. The had answered the call, and the galaxy would never be the same. Approached the group carrying a data pad. "Captain, I have something for you. It's a message from a world called. They heard what you did here. They're asking for help." Took the data pad and read the message. Another peaceful world, another threat, another call for help. He looked at his crew and smiled. "Well, what do you say? Ready to answer another call?" "Always," they said together. And somewhere in the vast darkness between the stars, other species watched and wondered, some with fear, some with hope, but all of them with a new understanding. The humans were here. They had entered the galactic stage, and they had chosen to be heroes, not conquerors. That made all the difference.